Welcome to Head Kick Audio, and welcome back. I got Zack the Hammer Stewart. He's going to be competing at RUF 44. It's the Rough Puff and Rumble over at the Celebrity Theater in downtown Phoenix, Arizona, October 23rd. So that's this motherfucking weekend. And this guy right here is very, very excited. And with good reason. One of the competitors on the card here, Zack Stewart's going to be taking on Antron Petty at 145 pounds. This is a pretty dope fight. Not the fight that was originally scheduled, and not the fight everybody thought was going to happen, but hey, it's still a good fight nonetheless. We could have done a lot worse than Antron Petty. The guy's young. The guy's got a lot of power. He's coming off a very emphatic finish in his last fight, and so are you, my friend. So are you. So let's talk about the clash of styles here. What does Antron Petty bring to the table that we got to keep an eye on?
You definitely got to keep an eye on the power, on the athletic ability. To label a specific martial arts, I don't think there's anything outside of the book that I'm really worried about. He's not a experienced jiu-jitsu guy or a experienced taekwondo type of guy. He's an athlete. And you have to watch out for athletes. You got those guys who come in the gym and kind of, whoa, what the hell? But, definitely got to keep an eye out on the strength and the athletic ability of the guy, not underestimate anybody, but we're prepared for everything.
All right. And coming off of your last win, I'm assuming here that the hammer of today squashes the hammer of, the last time out.
Yeah. I mean, after that last fight, I was actually there's a reason why there was no celebration when I got up. It was to me, it was somewhat of a poor performance, even though a lot of others would disagree. And I know there was strength in that fight, especially on the ground. But I knew there was more. There was more in the tank. There was more that I could have done. Simple mistakes that I could have avoided. So we've really, really took that into play for this camp. And I would smack that guy around, especially on the feet.
Okay, and let's talk about the training camp for this one. You've been over at TW's BJJ and MMA, correct, for this whole camp?
Yep.
All right, and who's been your main training partners for this one?
Drakkar Klose has become my new head coach, and we've spent a lot of time together. I've got some studs. I've got some state champion wrestlers, some guys coming off of some big wins in their own MMA fights. Danny, you got he's my main training partner, Danny. He's about 170, so he's constantly heavier than I am, which is good for me to feel that power, as well as to take him down easily. Just makes me feel even better when I go against a guy who's actually my weight. But we've got the whole gym is just. Tim constantly has guys coming in. We're constantly working. We're constantly pushing the jiu-jitsu as we always do. But with Drakkar, it's been nothing but my striking that we're working on. And just taking that fighter IQ to the next level. So a lot of big improvements that have happened in the last 9 weeks straight of hard sparring, hard technique, practice every single day, just grinding, man.
Absolutely. And of course, we were hoping to get RUF 44 in October. In what was the month before? Was it September? I'm bad at calendars.
Yeah, September.
I'm bad at calendars. Is that even a fucking thing? Yeah, it was supposed to be in September, right?
Yep.
Okay, and that didn't happen. So we pushed the card to October 23rd, and the card is stacking up nicely, even with all of the fallout. Okay, we've had a lot of fighters fall out of the card. Guys are retiring, guys are, unfit to perform, guys are, I don't know. I don't know what all the circumstances are. I only know a few. But even with all the fallouts of this card, it's still a banger. And everybody knows that when the hammer is on a card, it's going to be good.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about, specific things that you've worked on improving that may or may not, because I don't want to get too much of the game plan, right? But what are some things that you have been working on to improve in your game in MMA overall?
A big part of it has been finding out how to relax, how to not have to be so tense in the fight. You get to a point where you understand the possibilities and you understand what you're capable of. So a big part of what we've improved on is my own mental opinion of myself and my skill and how I am in the cage. Just finding out who I am, because everybody has a style. You got guys that are real flashy, and you got guys that are straight to the point. Just 1, 2s, 3s. You got to figure out who you are, what you're good at. Me being the very flashy takedown artist that I am, I'm never going to let that go, because to me, there's nobody that can ever stand across from me that I won't do that to. You could get a collage of pictures of every person I've gone against, and they're all in the same position, just up in the air. So is it going to happen to Antron? Absolutely. But we've taken a lot of time to figure out my opinion of myself, because that's what matters, is what do I think? Because in my mind, I think I'm amazing on the ground. I think that, very little I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. I didn't necessarily have to improve. Now, being at practice every day, are you always going to improve? Yes. But the game plan there has stayed the same. We've been working on my feet. We've been working on my being comfortable on the feet and not, keeping my head straight on the line, because so many of the guys will start to read that, oh, he's throwing his punches, but he's still keeping his head right in the middle. So getting more comfortable with moving my head and circling to the correct side and knowing which, just seeing the mistakes that these guys make, because a lot of times you're going to throw punches in desperation, and especially being a shorter guy, that's not a good thing to do, because you throw that punch just to throw it, and you show that habit of leaving this open, you're going to get corrected on that. And a lot of, the biggest thing that we've done in this camp, to point out, that I've never gone through before in any camp prior to this, is some true, like, kind of like, because Jakar, he's pretty gangster, man. He don't play. He's in the UFC. He's a good guy, but he came in there day one and set a whole new tone for what MMA practice at T-Dubs was going to be like. And we've all adjusted to that, and the whole team has gotten better. But our sparring, man, the sparring that I've gone through these last 6 weeks has been my biggest improvement, because all of my camps prior to that, it's almost like I was protecting myself, and I wasn't sparring very hard. Well, now we've been doing stuff like, I've been getting Shark Tanked, man, a lot. And what that is I stay in the middle, and I go against fresh guys at different times and in different scenarios. So I'm fighting one guy, blah, 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 and I take him down. Well, as soon as I take him down, Jakar's got another guy on my back, putting me in a rear naked choke. And I have to fight out of that, get back to my feet, and then boom, Jakar brings in the wrestler. So now the wrestler comes in, and his whole goal is to take me down. So now I'm sitting there defending takedowns, making the right movements, all while just getting more and more tired. But at the same time, all the guys are cheering you on, getting in your head to get past that wall. So we've really pushed the mentality of, if I'm going to get broken, it's going to happen in the damn practice room. It's not going to happen out there. So that's the mentality I have for this fight, because this Shark Tank that I go through is against, every single guy is heavier than me. 170, 185, maybe 165, 205. And I'm having to adjust to all of those types of weights, when in reality, when I get out there, I'm fighting a dude that probably actually is going to weigh less than me on fight night. So it's going to be like, what's up, baby? Like, I've been dealing with 4 dudes at the same time. I could handle you for 3-minute rounds if that's what it takes. So we've really pushed everything. Of course, we're always working on the jiu-jitsu. Never, ever do we stop. But we're well-rounded right now. That's, my coach told me a week ago, he says, you could beat his ass tonight. Like, you could take this dude tonight. So it doesn't matter about next week. Next week, you recover, you get your mind right, you get your weight down, get ready to replenish, and let's go have some fun. And that's what we're doing, and that's what we're going to do. And all respect to this kid, but just like everybody else, man, you're going to get the hammer. And I'm coming very aggressive. Just because I sound nice doesn't mean I'm going to fight nice. So.
All right, and let's talk about the extracurriculars, right? We know that in your time away from competing or in the practice room, you've been doing a lot of weightlifting, and some of that is at a very enormous numbers. I mean, you're talking about hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Like, I think you have I've seen you put up more than what now, God rest her soul, she passed away, she had a stroke, but my aunt Trisha, I mean, she was a 500 pound woman, and you're putting these numbers up in the air like it's a joke. Now, so that I have physical evidence of this, but I want to know, what else have you been doing outside of the practice room?
So definitely weightlifting has been a big part of this camp. Not necessarily in the last 4 weeks, but leading up to it, actually I was about 175 pounds 2.5 months ago, and I was just so focused on my strength and just getting myself to those big numbers. When I pulled 500 weighing 170, I was like, okay, we're doing something here. And I was lifting at the gym 3 hours a day. Like, I was training as if it was the same way I work towards MMA. Like, I was so passionate about becoming a very, very strong athlete. And naturally that happens for me very quickly. But other than that, I've had so much pride in the time with my daughter. I spend, 4 days on, 4 days off. Uh, and she comes with me to practice, and she knows about fighting, and we talk about it, and we watch videos. And, a lot of time also, which a lot of that is my time away from the fight life, because it does become very consuming. Um, but a lot of time is spent with her, and I get to just take a break, man. I don't care about fighting. At that time, I'm just being a dad. I'm taking her to the park. We're going out and, having treats because her mom's so strict. So when she's with dad, we got to have some fun. Um, and I'm also busting my ass every day, man. I'm at the top of my company. Surface Savers, my whole company is going to be front row of the fight. They're all going to be dapping me up on the way out. Very, very big support system at work. I've got the next couple of days off, all paid, easy money, just to let me be ready for this, because they know how important it is to me. But I also am very, I have a lot of pride in what I do for work as well. I'm very good at it. So I spend, that's the thing though that kind of makes me realize, like, I do 8 hours of work. I get off. I pick up my daughter. I go straight to practice for 2.5 hours. I get her all taken care of, fed. Go out and have a run, just constantly, man. I mean, life's a big grind. I live in my own place, so I got bills like crazy. So the work can't stop. But I never doubt my work ethic ever. You know, and how badly I want this to change my life. So there's nobody ever that'll go against me. If you knew my full story, which we could never get into that, or at least not now. But if anyone knew my real story and what I've been through and the people I've lost and the way I grew up, you'd realize there's a big reason behind what I'm doing every day. Much more than just I like fighting or I'm good at this. This is my outlet, and this is what allows me to be who I am today. And I consider that a pretty dangerous man. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And then let's talk about after the fight just a little bit, if we could, right? Because obviously, when you have, for those of you who don't know, right? Fighters on my show, they're winners. Okay. So when you win your fight, okay, when you win your fight, what do you foresee is next in your immediate future? Because there's some sexy names out there at 145 pounds. Now, we talk about Rich Harmon a lot, okay? And I know right now he's currently coming off of a loss. but the man is still very talented, and he holds a win over you. Okay, but there's been a couple other names pop up. One guy that's fighting on the card, Mr. Frank. Okay, that fight right there sounds sexy as hell. But what are some other ideas that you might have?
So right now, once this fight's done, I really want it to be a statement for me to get some recognition about where I am in this division, and that's going to happen. And, for me, I'll never turn down a fight against anybody. Um, there's some reasons behind the curtains as to why me and Ridge haven't fought again yet, / why we may or may not fight in the future. Um, if it ever happens again, so be it. And I'm in. I will fight anybody. I don't care. Um, but stylistically, I believe that I'm prepared for pretty much everybody. Um, so even to the point where maybe somebody's gonna call me out after this, fingers crossed. Uh, but either way, Jason calls me, says he's ready to see this pretty face again, and we do it. And I'm gonna keep working up. Do I expect some respect after this fight? Do I expect somebody that's considered the top, 5, top 10 of this division? Because I think that potentially I'm in the top 10 of this division. I should be. Yeah, I mean it's whatever you want to call it, but either way, I want some respect. I'm gonna get this win, and to be exact, immediately after this fight, the actual plan is to take my baby to the state fair and have a great day. But after that, I'm gonna proceed to um, a very big jiu-jitsu tournament to go test myself because it's been a while. I've been preparing for MMA. You guys just saw me not too long ago. You're seeing me again. Um, Deep down, jiu-jitsu, I'm probably going to be jiu-jitsu world champion next year. Not, no cockiness. I see it, man. I mean, right now, in jiu-jitsu, I'm 33-1, and I lost one match after winning 8 in a row before it, and I lost that last match of the day by points. Never been tapped out in my career. Nobody's ever going to tap me out. But I want to go see where I stand in this jiu-jitsu world because I have the ability to become one of the greats. I'll be a black belt, in the next 5 to 6 years for sure. So that's the plan immediately after is go do something amazing in the jiu-jitsu world.
Okay, and then obviously we're not going to be an amateur forever. And this will be my last question before we talk about my favorite subject. But we're not going to be an amateur forever. So, are we just waiting for Coach to say, Hammer, you are ready? Or is it up to you? Are you guys doing a collaboration? What's going on with that?
I think our communication at my gym is very good. It's a lot about how I feel. It's also a lot about my coach trusting that he's putting me out there at the right time. There's a lot of things about me that are ready to be a pro, and there's a lot of things that aren't. In the jiu-jitsu and ground game, I'm already a pro. I've beaten purple belts 13-0. I've tapped them easily. It's that part of it. I think I'm a pro, but my fighter IQ, my stand up, my confidence in myself, those are still amateur. I still got to get through that and experience that. That's part of the plan for this fight coming up, but it's gonna happen soon. I would say right now, after this fight, I'm gonna be 3-1. By the time I get to 5-1, so I get 5 wins as an amateur, I'm done. I know somebody will sign me pro after 5 wins. So hopefully that's RUF. But, I definitely, that's my number. That's my number is once I get to 5 wins, I'd like to go pro. So that way I can do big things there and then make the big dream happen, is make it to the UFC, perform at the highest level of jiu-jitsu and, become this big team that Tim Welch, BJJ, and MMA is going to become because I've been there for 2 years now, and I started off as like that first group of a couple of guys, in a garage, and now we've moved on to this gym, and we've got bigger things coming, and we're gonna be the lab, we're gonna be fight ready, we're gonna be the next big gym in Arizona, and I'm gonna be at the top of that list. So, I have the people I need to have to make it to the highest level. I just have to do the work. That's it. Once they trust me, I have the opportunity. So it's about going every day, training every day, making no excuses.
All right. Speaking of no excuses, there is no excuse not to have a great answer for this question right here. Okay. So when the referee raises your hand and announcer Mike Markham announces you as the winner, I want to know, this question. Okay. What are we celebrating with? What's the victory meal?
So definitely, just like last time, my own bottle of champagne. That's for me. So I'm gonna start with that. Definitely craving like some. I've been craving like some street tacos. Uh, some good like carne asada, like street tacos. I want like 12 of them on my plate, whether I eat them or not. Like
Yeah.
give the champ his food for the night. Because I've done the hard part, man. That's one thing about this camp that's been pretty crazy is this is the best I've ever performed, felt energy for being 149 pounds. I mean, normally I'm laying in my bed, like not able to talk because I'm just like, fuck, dude. I just went to practice and work for 8 hours and I still feel good. I could go run right now, so making the weight's going to be easy. But yeah, man, I've been very good. It's been like 2.5 months without a single drink, no soda, no junk food. Like I've been very disciplined. So I look forward to celebrating with some good food as much as I want. Like I'm going to the state fair the next day, so I'm just gonna be like, give me that shit. So it's gonna be awesome.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And you definitely can't go wrong with street tacos. You can't. I mean,
No way.
and I'm down. Dose, you want 12 on the plate? Let's fucking go. I mean, that's a bit of a snack for me, but, I'm a fat ass, and that's okay. That's okay. So you go ahead and have the snack. I'll have the entree. We'll maybe go for 24, maybe double or nothing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But could you imagine if I could really put away fucking 24 tacos?
You'd have to be smoking a lot of the weed at this event to get through that.
That's right. That's right. So let's touch on that a little bit before we get to the shout outs, right? This is the first MMA cannabis like merger, this expo, this rough card. This is the first time that I've ever seen that we get this. And I don't even know how the fuck they came up with the idea, but I am not I don't smoke, I don't do the pens, I don't, do the edibles or any of that stuff, and it's not because I'm anti marijuana or cannabis. Trust me, if you want to, I will buy edibles for you. I am not opposed, okay? I will, pass the joint straight to you. It doesn't matter. It just makes me giggle like a little bitch, and I don't like giggling like a little bitch, okay? I mean, it is what it is. But, like, this is a pretty fucking cool thing to be a part of. So, like, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Like, what do you think about it?
I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's a fun, different vibe to what we do. Obviously, you know who I train with, Sugar Sean O'Malley, Tim Welch. So we are pro weed. I use it in a very microdosed way, because I do have anxiety, um, and not like labeled anxiety. I just know personally I get anxious when I smoke. So I use it in like a microdose, to help me sleep, to help me when, I do need to eat more, or, sometimes I had a stressful day and I just need a hit, like that's, could I ever smoke a whole joint by myself? Hell no. I'd probably call 911. Like I'm dying for sure. But, I think it's cool. I think it's cool to be a part of the event. I love being, no matter what it is. I mean, my last fight had no fans, and I was blessed to be a part of that. So, am I blessed to see my fans again? Not that anyone remembers this, but the last time they called my name at a live event, it was probably the loudest it got that whole night. And to be trapped in celebrity theater, just expect some roars. I mean, people are fans. People are fans of what I do and what I bring to the table. And I've just got a good support group. So it's going to be nice, man.
Yeah. So we'll get to the shout outs then. Like I said, the whole thing is pretty cool. And, there's going to be like, you can like do all that shit there, which I think is fucking like, where else can you go aside from your own home or the homie's house, or maybe you got a dope father-in-law, like somebody I know, and yeah. Maybe you can go and watch fights and smoke, right? But you can do this at the event, which is super cool. Now I don't know if it's like tinted off and you got to be in a designated
Right.
green area. And then you can go watch fights, but all I know is it's going to be fucking bananas. And I'm pretty stoked and a little concerned. I have small concerns as to if Steve gets a contact eye, the commentary is going to be super giggly, and that concerns me. Okay, it concerns me. But there are some people that you would like to thank that have gotten you to your career this far. So I would like to give you the floor, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, to close this out, I think the biggest thank you so far has to go to Tim. He's just been there since day one, believed in me, pushed me, made me the beast that I am. We're 1-0 together right now. We're gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep giving him the wins he deserves. Jakar has putting a lot of time and effort into me. So shout out to Coach. My teammates always hold me accountable, pulling me off the ground if that's where I'm at. It's kind of funny to say family because I'm pretty isolated from my family. So I'm gonna shout out my baby girl because she's my motivation for all of this. Amelia May, I love you to death, and I'm coming home Saturday night with a win. For sure. My church too. They're 15 tickets they bought to come watch me. So I'm actually coming out to a Christian song this time. So there's going to be some power behind it. But, everybody that loves me, everybody that hates me, thinks I'm cocky, thinks I'm awesome, whatever it is, I love it all. I know who I am. I know I'm a great dude. I know that I've got many people's backs. And when I care about you, I care. But when you're the person who's standing across from me in that cage, I'm going to beat your ass. So that's it, man. Bell to bell. Let's do it. Let's bite down on that mouthpiece and go. Thank you to everybody that supports me, and I won't let you down Saturday night.
Man, this guy knows how to cut a fucking promo. Again, I'm here with Zack the Hammer Stewart, who is going to be taking on Anchon Petty over at RUF 44 at the Celebrity Theater in downtown Phoenix, Arizona this Saturday, October 23rd. If you haven't gotten your tickets already, or you haven't gotten your pay-per-view, which you can do early, there's going to be a fighter code. Okay, it's going to be Z Stewart in all caps. And that means some of that cha-ching right there goes to this man, okay, to help him, fucking gear, merch, or, fucking whatever. It's his money. You don't need to fucking worry about what he does with it. But some of the proceeds go to this man. So, like I said, Z Stewart, when you're checking out for pay-per-views or when you're buying physical tickets, just support this man. And dude, okay, so we know I'm a commentator and I'm gonna be there. I'm a selfish prick, so I hope you stay with RUF because I'm just as selfish as they come, and I want to be the one that calls your fights forever, man. So, yeah, take that for what it is. But I'd like to thank you for coming on the show, shooting the shit. It's always a pleasure having you on. It's always a pleasure calling your fights. I can't wait to see you October 23rd.
Absolutely, brother. I'll see you soon.
All right. Until next time.